glass skin, dewy skin, donut skin, 10-step routines, moisture sandwich, skin flooding. You must wait 60 seconds in between every single step. Dedicate a full 90 minutes to getting your face moisturized. And in today's video, I partnered with Stylevana to cut through some of this noise so you guys can take control of your skincare routine and ignore everything that is being shouted at you. I chose to partner with Stylevana on today's video because if you're not familiar with Stylevana, they are my go-to. They are a one-stop shop for all of your Japanese, Korean, Asian beauty wants, needs, and desires. They have a huge selection of all of the trendiest, latest, greatest skincare launches from all of the top Japanese and Korean skincare brands. They also have a ton of amazing makeup on there. The price point is there to meet everyone's budget. Whatever it is you're interested in, let me tell you, Stylevana has you covered. And they were nice enough to extend a discount code to you guys, so I will put that in the description box. Make sure you take advantage of it so you can save, and everything that I'm going to bring up in today's video product-wise, you can find, of course, on Stylevana. Take a deep breath because your skincare routine, guess what? It's yours. It's not someone else's. And I have to be honest with you, there aren't actually that many rules when it comes to skincare. Skincare and social media has just complicated so many things. There are a few rules which I'll point out in today's video, but for the most part, chances are you're doing just fine. So take a deep breath. You've probably come across the trend of skin flooding. I did a video on this a while ago, but let me tell you, it's not going anywhere, and it seems to be even more popular than it was when I originally did the video. What is skin flooding? It's this practice of sequentially layering various toners, essences, serums, moisturizers, stack after stack after stack to give this glowy, hydrated, dewy look, plump the skin. And you probably already know my opinion on that. You don't need that many products to moisturize the skin. It is going overboard. While moisturizing the skin is amazing, it has a lot of benefits. You can have too much of a good thing. All of those sequential layers of different skincare products starts to be of diminishing returns. You can end up becoming irritated by a product much more readily when layering it with so many other products. Not to mention these are hydrating products, and one of the advantages of hydrating and moisturizing the skin is it helps facilitate penetration of things. But when you're using like 17 different products, that's a lot to take into the skin, and your face can become red, irritated, sensitive, and your moisture barrier, ironically, can become impaired as a result of going overboard. So you don't need all of these products in your routine. But when it comes to moisturizing the skin, there are a few things that you might want to consider. Let's talk about the moisture sandwich, because I'm actually a fan of this approach. What is the moisture sandwich? It involves putting a moisturizer on, then putting on a topical retinoid or retinol, which can be drying and irritating. And then once you do that, you put another layer of moisturizer on. It's the moisture sandwich approach. It's great. Do you need to do this? No. Like I said, there aren't that many rules. You don't have to do this, but there are a couple of ways to do it. You can use the same moisturizer for the bottom piece of the bread and the top piece of the bread, if you will, but you might want to tweak the consistencies a bit. And here is where I really like to lean into a hydrating toner or essence. What is a hydrating toner or essence? Well, honestly, a lot of things call themselves that, and you'll find there is a bit of variability, but these tend to be products that moisturize the skin but are lightweight and fluid in consistency. I like to put these on as the first step in my skincare routine at nighttime after cleansing while the skin is still a bit damp, and then I put my tretinoin on over it. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know Pyeongkang Yul really got me hooked on Korean skincare, especially their hydrating essence toner. Very, very simple ingredients. The main ingredient in this is a root extract, which is full of humectants, anti-inflammatory and soothing compounds, and it also has arginine, which is an amino acid naturally found in skin's outermost layer as part of skin's natural moisturizing factors. Fragrance-free. So this is a great option actually to hydrate the skin prior to putting on maybe your topical retinoid. The way I like to use these is actually to put them into the palm of my hand and then take the fingers of the other hand and essentially paint it on the skin to get a nice, even, consistent layer. A lot of people take them up to their face and pat them directly. And like I said, there are no rules. That's just how I like to do it. And I feel like I get more surface area coverage doing my paint method, as I like to call it. Now, there's a lot of chatter online about waiting a certain amount of time in between steps. You don't need to do that. You can move on at this point. Other than the exception, which I'll point out later on in the video, so keep watching, you don't need to wait some magic amount of time in between each step to move on to the next product. So this was a gateway into the realm of hydrating essences and toners, and it's a nice lightweight fluid. Currently though, in my routine, I'm using the Cellamax Dual Barrier Creamy Toner. And as you can see, I am actually almost finished with this bottle. I've been using it for several months now. Fragrance-free toner as well. This has more of a milky consistency, but it has ceramides, which are lipids naturally found in skin's outermost layer. Applying them to the skin can help get your barrier back on track, which is a big part of the goal of moisturizing and using all of these hydrating products in the first place, is to help your skin retain moisture better so it can naturally exfoliate more efficiently. So ultimately you get smoother, more hydrated, happier, healthier skin. I also like this product because it has this interesting peptide, which honestly, I don't know if it actually does anything other than help with improving moisture retention. It's called Aquatide. Aquatide allegedly helps to promote something called autophagy, which is a cellular pathway wherein basically cells recycle old damaged organelles, kind of self-eat themselves as a way for repairing, healing, and recovery. So in theory, it may work that way, but take that with a grain of salt. All right, so you put it on at nighttime as the first step in your skincare routine, then you can put your tretinoin on over it, and then you can put another moisturizer on over. So I've actually been using that as the bottom piece of bread, followed by my tretinoin on over it. But you could use any lightweight fluid textured hydrating toner or essence in that fashion. Then for the top piece, you know, when you eat a sandwich, a lot of times the top bun is a lot fluffier, thicker. Using a thicker, richer cream on top of your tretinoin, you might find really helps tremendously cut down on the symptoms of sensitivity. You can use it to the entire face or just to areas that tend to be more inclined towards sensitivity when you're new to starting a topical retinol, such as the cheeks, which are very vascular and prone to burning and stinging, or to your neck. Always recommend taking these products, as a side note that I'm talking about in today's video, down to the neck. Every single product in this video, you need to put on your neck too. Recently, I did a video on moisturizers for sensitive skin, and I highlighted a variety of excellent thick top coats, if you will, top buns. And one of them, which I'm currently using, is Cellamax's Dual Barrier Wearable Cream. This is a thick, rich barrier cream, which is excellent as a final step in your nighttime skincare routine for moisturizing the face. It has that Aquatide, it has ceramides, but the texture, the consistency, it's really going to act as an occlusive barrier to water loss and limit penetration of things that might be irritating. Because it's a barrier cream, if you put that on as the first step in your skincare routine and then put tretinoin on over it, you might not get ideal penetration because it is a barrier cream. Barrier creams limit penetration of things. Maybe you've been using a topical retinol for some time, you don't really have sensitivity, and maybe your skin isn't even particularly dry for the most part. Guess what? You don't necessarily need to do the moisture sandwich. You don't necessarily need to put a top bun on, an open face sandwich, if you will. And I find myself personally, I have gotten along quite well just using the toner first and then putting my tretinoin on over. I use tretinoin cream. It's very moisturizing, and I've been using it for a long time, so I don't have the sensitivity issues, the peeling, the dryness that comes along with it when you first started. So that actually works out really well for me and is a very simple pared down routine where I'm adding a little bit of moisture to the skin, and that ultimately can help the tretinoin penetrate a little bit better. The tretinoin is in a very moisturizing base that helps to ultimately reduce water loss even further. It's worked out great. Now, I don't put tretinoin around my eyelids. Many people are able to do this, but I do not. It can be very irritating there. So here is another point I want to make here. It comes down to the eye creams. Where and when and why do you use an eye cream, and do you need to? For the purposes of moisturizing your eyelids, any of these products you can use around the eyelids to hydrate, to moisturize. The barrier cream really works quite well as an eye cream. Now, it doesn't have any active ingredients in it that you might be seeking for the purposes of certain cosmetic concerns around the eye, like an eye cream with retinol, for example, which would be formulated to be less irritating around the eye. Check out my video on eye creams with active ingredients that target concerns around the eye area. But for solely the purposes of moisturizing the eyelid area, crow's feet area, under eye, upper eyelid, the barrier cream is amazing by itself. It is very much the texture, the consistency of most eye creams. Now, make sure you avoid getting it within a millimeter of the lash line and make sure you don't get it directly into your eye. Works really well as an eye cream. And don't just think that, oh, moisturizing moisturizing, that's all it does. No. You get some cosmetic bang for your buck in a variety of ways. First of all, like I said, the skin turns over more efficiently when you have been moisturizing consistently. So ultimately that reduces the buildup of dry, rough skin texture. You might find that you no longer need to use an exfoliant because of this. And of course you wouldn't be exfoliating your eyelids. That's a bit aggressive. But through improved moisture retention, you suddenly notice significant diminishment in little fine, what I call dehydration lines. Better moisture retention, wrinkle depth decreases. Goals just by putting moisturizer on your face. Doesn't have to be a specific one, but these are great options. And also moisturizing the skin, whether it be around your eyes or on your face. Another cosmetic benefit, those dark spots, discoloration, less obvious via light scattering. Better water content in the skin, less obvious dark spots. Calms down redness as well because reduces transepidermal water loss and penetration of irritating things that cause your face to flush and get red and irritated. All right, let's talk about the morning routine. The morning routine includes sunscreen. Here are the rules. Sunscreen, you need to put on dry skin. Sunscreen is the last step of your morning skincare routine. If all you do in the morning is get up, stand up, and put sunscreen on your face, that is a very effective morning skincare routine for many people. Not everyone needs to wash their face in the morning before moisturizing. Not everyone is going to necessarily need to use a moisturizer in the morning. Why? If you're using sunscreen, knock, 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 you're using a moisturizer. Sunscreens are moisturizing. They're very moisturizing. They reduce water loss. Many of them also have hydrating ingredients in them as well. Many of them contain antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, which might also soothe the skin. So why do you necessarily need a separate moisturizer? The answer is you don't. You don't. Some people find that they appreciate having a different moisturizer there, but others say, no, don't need it. Recently, I did a sunscreen empties video, and the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Sunscreen SPF 50 is one that often makes an appearance in those empties videos because it's great. When you put this sunscreen on, you don't even realize you're putting sunscreen on because it's like you're putting on a moisturizer. It offers broad spectrum protection. It has niacinamide, which is good for redness and the moisture barrier. It has rice bran oil, which is an emollient packed with anti-inflammatory and soothing compounds, and it has ceramides. Zero white cast, amazing filters for broad spectrum ultraviolet radiation protection. As a reminder though, while this is moisturizing, it is your sunscreen. So you gotta use it as a sunscreen, meaning you have to put it on all sun exposed surfaces. So you need to use enough of it in order for it to work as a sunscreen. How much? Well, a good estimate is 2 finger lengths or half a teaspoon for the face and neck. Don't forget your ears. Don't forget your ears. They see a lot of sun throughout your lifetime and skin cancers do pop up there. But a very reasonable routine is the pop up out of bed, put the sunscreen on your face, walk out the door. For those of you who have zero time, that is a routine that is doable. But if you want to wash your face, you want to put in a little bit of a hydrating serum type thing, what do you do? Well, you could use one of the toners or essences as the first step in your morning skincare routine for a little added extra hydration. That works out quite well after cleansing. Or if you don't want to cleanse in the morning, but you want a little something, just put it on a bare face. Works well, the liquid. Here's a rule though, when it comes to sunscreen, if you're gonna bring in skincare products, it's gotta go on a dry face. So as you can see, this is what my skin looks like immediately after putting on the Cellamax toner. You can see it looks wet, it looks damp. I don't put sunscreen on right away. Why? It'll pill, it won't set up well on damp skin. Oh my gosh, how long do you need to wait? Don't worry about setting a timer. You'll know when it's good to put sunscreen on because your face will be dry. The amount of time that takes will vary depending on the ambient humidity and where you are. Don't overthink it. So here's what I do. I go into my kitchen, I fill up my kettle for my coffee, push the little button so the water comes to the right temperature for coffee making purposes. By the time I do that, walk back in the bathroom, face is dry. I don't think about a thing. Face is dry, ready for the sunscreen. Sunscreen needs to be the last step of your skincare routine. Speaking of sunscreens, another one worth mentioning, the Beauty of Joseon Sun Relief Rice Probiotics. This is one that I discovered a couple of years ago and continues to be a go-to. Again, one of those where you're like, oh wait, I'm putting sunscreen on. Didn't even notice because there's no burning, there's no stinging, it's not irritating, it doesn't have the sunscreen smell. Fragrance-free though. Uvinol A+, Uvinol T150, Tinosorb M, Iscatrizine also great. Combo of filters offering broad spectrum UVA, UVB protection, key. Niacinamide, glycerin, lactobacillus, pumpkin ferment extract packed with hydrating, soothing anti-inflammatory compounds, and rice ferment, very hydrating, soothing, great for the moisture moisture barrier. Use these to your eyelid area. Protect your eyelids. And the great thing about either of them is they don't burn around the eyes. They don't burn around the eyes. One final thing I want to talk to you guys about that can get really confusing in the skincare space is the order of application. Say you do have a couple of steps, different products in your routine. People might say, oh, put an essence on first, a serum on next, moisturizer, sunscreen. They may tell you that. But here's the thing. A lot of products are not adhering to any sort of rigorous definitions, because they don't exist, of what constitutes a serum, what constitutes an essence, what constitutes a toner, what constitutes a moisturizer versus a cream versus a serum. You're going to get a lot of different names on products, and it's easy to get confused. So one tip a lot of people give that I think is quite good, and I do recommend considering this, following this approach, although again, there really aren't hard and fast rules other than the two that we already mentioned. Order your routine starting with the thinnest, the more liquid products, and working your way up to the thicker products. That's a great approach. For example, a barrier cream is going to be the last step in a nighttime routine because it is very thick, very occlusive, and it's going to help you out throughout the night, because when we sleep at night, our skin is more inclined to water loss, dryness, and irritation. But if you just go off of names, you might think, oh, serum is going to be a more liquid thing. Again, you'll run into things where a serum is more of a moisturizer. For example, Orencia's Holy Hyssop Serum 30. This, you might think is going to be a fluid. It's not. It's basically like a gel cream, a gel moisturizer. It's really thick. It's really glossy. It's deeply hydrating and limits penetration of stuff that you put on top of it and evaporative water loss. It doesn't feel greasy on the skin, likely because it's very glycerin rich. Glycerin's a humectant, but in glycerin rich products starts to act more as a barrier to water loss. This is a product that people might be intrigued to pursue because it's got a variety of antioxidants, which may help to combat oxidative stress. I think this is a great product to consider using as the final step in your nighttime skincare routine, especially if you're someone who has oilier, acne-prone skin, because you might not like the full-on barrier cream feel. You might want the more hydrating glycerin-based skin protectant. If you wanted to use it in your morning routine, I would worry that because of the thick consistency that you put it on, and then when you put your sunscreen on over, you might encounter what is so annoying, the pilling. For that reason alone, I think this is better suited as a nighttime product. It's very thick, but let me tell you, the following morning used at night, you do wake up with that glowy, radiant skin, soft, hydrated, supple, and you've gotten delivery of sodium hyaluronate, the salt of hyaluronic acid to hydrate, plump, and smooth, some antioxidants such as niacinamide, one of my favorites, good for redness, dark spots, some moisture barrier, anti-aging. 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid is a stable form of vitamin C that may help ward off oxidative stress that would damage like the lipids in your skin, but as far as that collagen boosting effect, but it does have ascorbic acid as well. Ascorbic acid is a tricky ingredient to work with. Penetration in the skin, question mark, but it has that as well. And if it does actually get in, well, it may help improve collagen production. So definitely can be even more beneficial for boosting up the collagen in your skin and actually decreasing wrinkle depth. All right, y'all, that is a rundown with regards to some popular moisturizing confusion. As you can see, there aren't very many rules. The main rule is put sunscreen on dry skin. Sunscreen is the last step in your morning skincare routine. Sunscreen's a moisturizer, and watch out if you are using thicker, richer creams on the face, gel creams, what have you, before your sunscreen, you might get the pilling. And if you are encountering sunscreen pilling, well, you need to watch my video on why that happens, because I break it down there and I give you tips, tricks, approaches so that never happens again. Big thank you to Stalvana for sponsoring today's video. Again, everything I mentioned today will be linked in the description box. Use my code if you're interested so you can save money, because we're all about that here, saving money any way, shape, or form that we can. Now, on the end slate, I'm going to put one of my recent videos on summer skincare, so check that one out next, because we are in the hot months already. If you guys like this one, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye!